Greetings, I'm Mike. This is another section in transition. This is this story about how humans can survive into the future and find a stable niche for long-term survival. This section is under morality. This topic is faith. Now, faith is a word that is so loaded with meaning because it's associated very closely with religion. It's a lot more than that, though, and the other meanings are possibly more important than about religion. Faith is defined as an unsupported belief. It's a lot more than that. Now, the most important meaning is that is what it is a name for. See, we talk about animal survival instinct. An animal will get caught in a trap and it'll chew its leg to get off, out of this trap. And we call it animal survival instinct. Well, do humans have this? What do we call it in humans? Well, we have it. Humans are really hard to kill. We have very powerful survival instinct. But we don't call it animal survival instinct because we don't like to compare ourselves to animals, which is fair. And we don't call it even survival instinct because we'd be comparing ourselves to animals with instincts. We have instinct. The word we use for it is faith. That is our most fundamental survival instinct. Now, in ways I've called it elsewhere our moral instinct, except that defines more that we use moralities to survive. So this means faith is the foundation of our moral instinct as well. And it's really true. It is why we choose to do right and why we believe in a difference between right and wrong. Now, our moral instinct tells us to use moral strategies to tell us what's right and wrong. It is our faith that tells us to do right. Now, faith is very like an emotion, or maybe other emotions, in that it can grow slowly or flower quite suddenly. You can see it in other people, like you can see anger or fear or love. You can sense it just like an emotion that your empathy can pick up on. Now, it's, as I say, why we do things right. And after you hear this, go out and think about this. Think about it in yourself, because you've got faith. Why else would you be trying to learn more about humans? But also see it in the people around you, and maybe it's lack even. But if a person builds a business, why do they do something that complicated? And I use the term business to say how trying to make something complete. This could refer to art too, or craftsmanship, especially craftsmanship. Why does a person do something right? This really high quality. They've chosen right, and it's their faith that's driving them to that. Now, this gets more important when you think about it in terms of survival, because it is so difficult to raise a family, and it's so stressful, difficult, and painful at times. Why do you do it? Why? It's not a really rational thing. Well, you need a little bit of irrationality to say, well, this is a good thing. This is survival. That's your faith. Now, in terms of the topic of religion, religion is in general, and the idea of God is a meme. That is a contagious idea, and it's your faith and your moral instinct that is the receptor for that contagious idea. Now, by the way, this is not to put down religion. Religion has incredibly profound meaning, but this is a rational look at religion. But don't think it's a particular critique. Religion will be discussed later. But in any case, Now, it's interesting because there's a little bit of difference possibly in faith in religion and faith in God, because faith in religion can refer to a moral system, possibly a moral system that came from a God, but it is a moral system, and it represents community, and it's a part of our survival method, and it's going to relate to our survival instinct. Now, God is an interesting thing because we tend to anthropomorphize forces, everything, our cars. We think that's how we're designed to think about. We're a social animal. We think of things as, we think of people. That's what we're designed to think about. So we will think of other things in terms of people. And so God is an anthropomorphization, a human face on our morality and our faith. And so this is why religion is so powerful, is that it's tied to our most basic survival instinct. Now, as I say, I'll discuss religion and God's more further on, but there's the reason I'm bringing up faith now, and partly because it's so important, partly because it's related to moralities and such as that, but there's another reason, because as I said, I've looked sort of towards the future some. I was working on how to survive the past, but if you look at the future, there's some philosophical questions that we ask now. When you're 20 years old or 18, you ask, why do I exist? What's my purpose in life? And I have reason to believe that these questions are going to become more and more important as time goes on, because we'll have a lot of distractions from where we've come from, survival, children, family, to where we may have to have a better foundation of why go to all this effort to have a family. We're going to have a lot of distractions in the future. We already do, and a lot of people choose not to have children, but the people that do choose to are going to be relying on faith, because we don't have a great reason to survive in terms of logic. And so the more we rely on logic, the more that question is going to come up. And so faith is going to be important. Interesting that all religions seem to say that faith is the most important thing, even more than love. Very interesting. So, as I say, further in the future, and this relates, by the way, to artificial selection, that when thinking of the characteristics that are so important to survival, faith, not necessarily faith in religion or God, but faith is going to be one of the most important aspects of genetic traits for survival. It is just the irrational decision to survive. As I say, if things go the way I expect, this is going to become more and more important in the future. The nice thing is if you say that the reason you exist is for survival, it at least gives you some of the why am I here? Well, you're here to develop, to grow, and that's in the personal sense, and that's in the sense of the society and the species. That is our purpose right now. In any case, I hope you found this interesting. This, again, is just a foundational piece leading, if I'm talking about where humans are going, I'm leading to my section on aspiration. Where do we want to go? And what will it take to get there? Faith is going to be a critical part of that. Thank you very much. Have a good day.